going? This is Indigenous Patriot. Thank you for joining me. Before we dive into the content of this video, I wanted to impress upon you to watch the video from yesterday when you get a chance. It's the first in a series of videos where I cover the things that I do in order to limit the amount of fake news that I actually believe in. Nobody's perfect. The next episode in that series will be the next video that I produce. So please, let me know how you like it. Comment on it, give it the thumbs up and all that. In any case, let's get started on this one. So first, we're going to discuss the hack. Okay, so if you haven't paid any attention to the media lately, you wouldn't know that a foreign actor apparently did one of the largest hacks in our government's history. They got into Department of Homeland Security. They got into the Treasury Department. It was just a mess. We don't exactly know what they obtained, but what we do know is our intelligence departments had been talking about the likelihood of this for months now. We've known that this is going to be something that we'd have to contend with for quite some time, and I'm wondering why we didn't do anything about it, why we didn't actually take these threats seriously. It's like we got caught with our pants down and we're all surprised. Oh my God, we got hacked. Yeah. So we also did in 2016. Did we not learn anything from that? And where is the condemnation? Where are we hearing the commander-in-chief complain about it? If it didn't affect his votes, I guess that's not something that's on his radar right now. In any case, talking about the commander-in-chief, I want to discuss a couple things in regards to the election. So, Mitch McConnell supposedly has had a conversation with Senate Republicans in which he expressed the desire for them to not deal with any of this contesting of the election. There's been a call by people like Mo Brooks and Matt Gaetz and all them to challenge the electoral results on the floor of the House and the Senate. The way that happens is you have one House Senator, one House Republican that both sign on, and that forces a debate. The problem with this is you have to have a majority of each chamber to do anything with it. So you're literally just wasting people's time. And not only that, but you're putting politicians down on paper in perhaps a way they don't want to be seen in the future. You're having them risk their livelihoods. And maybe somebody with a 2-year election can kind of willy-nilly throw that away. But the senators are a little bit more tight with their power. So supposedly they've been saying that they're not hearing anybody within the Republican Senate that's willing to sign on to this nonsense. And even if they did, it's highly unlikely to go anywhere because, like I said, you need the majority of the House and the majority of the Senate, and the Democrats actually hold the House currently. So I don't really see anything possible with that. Also, talking about the elections is these multiple numbers of electors. You got the actual sanctioned electors from the Democratic side, and you got the unsanctioned electors from the Republican side. And what the issue with this is that electors are only official when they are certified. So if you have electors, for instance, from Michigan, 2 sets of them, the only set that actually matters is the set that is voting in regards to how that election turned out. Especially since Supreme Court in July made it so that faithless electors, weren't a thing. Not unilaterally. Some states do not hold faithless electors accountable, but for the most part. Also, we talk about these calls for martial law. If you haven't heard, it's going across the right Twitter and Parler and all that, like wildfire, where they're trying to call for martial law. I think it was Michael Flynn who was the first big name to call for it. And they're trying to make it so that Donald Trump forces another vote under the watch of the military. And that is not something that we are allowed to do. I mean, I might be wrong about this. I'm not going to claim to know everything. But if I'm not mistaken, the Posse Comitatus rule states that that is not something that they are actually allowed to do. They're calling upon the Insurrection Act, but in reality, in order to push the Insurrection Act, you have to prove that these people aren't following the law. And I'd like to point out that there are almost 60 cases that are showing that Joe Biden is the president-elect. So in that particular case, I'm not really sure how they would institute the Insurrection Act. And in the case where you can't institute the Insurrection Act, the Posse Comitatus law, I feel as though it kind of puts a limit on that particular perspective. No martial law. If that was the case, we would never have an election again, because then we'd be in a constant state of martial law and we'd be in a dictatorship. I'm not really sure why Republicans feel as though it is important for them to live in a dictatorship. I would prefer not to, if at all possible, okay? Thank you. One last thing I wanted to talk about in regards to all of this is the fact that all of our current issues could have been solved. So earlier this year, Senate Republicans denied 3 different election security laws, including the SAFE Act. The SAFE Act would have provided by law, election machines cannot be connected to the internet, cannot be made in foreign countries, etc. Okay, well, now here we are with them making the claims that would have never been a possibility had we not thrown these bills out. I advocate for both of the major political parties, when you're putting out bills and you're talking about the things that you want to introduce as legislation, that you spell it out clearly for the public. I would like to know exactly what's in those bills, and not where I have to scour GovTrack or another website. I want, when you are putting out these bills, for you to say, this is what this bill is, this is what it hopes to accomplish. This way, we don't end up in the politics of, well, they want to do this and we want to do that, and none of us as a public are actually sure, because we have to go out of our way to look into these things. You know that we have the attention spans of gnats. So please spell it out for us. Make it easy for us to understand. The party that is the most transparent, I believe, is going to be the one that gets the most votes. That's just how I feel. I probably would vote for the party that's like absolutely honest, even in cases where maybe I don't quite agree with what they're doing, but I can still understand the logic behind it. That's, to me, what we are missing. Maybe it's a pipe dream because a lot of their money is made in obfuscation, but what can you do? In any case, thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for the next episode. I should be dropping that tomorrow or the following day. Of course, if you follow me on Twitter at WIKWEKO, I will let you know. But the best way for you to figure out whenever I'm going to drop new videos is for you to hit that subscribe button. It's free, doesn't cost you a dime, but the more subscribers I get, the closer I get to being able to afford a better setup, better editing, etc. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Lapitch Kanawe. I will see you again.